Sylkin! Hi everyone. So, as you can notice, we're in a different setting today. This is my new room, and I have a new bookshelf to go with it. It's all made out of crates and stuff. I'm gonna paint it white. It's not done yet. It's gonna be painted white, and I like it because you can rearrange it and stuff. But because it's the end of the year, I thought I would do my favorite books of 2016. Now, this list isn't a list of books that came out in 2016. It's a list of books I read in 2016 that were my favorite that I read that year. So let's get started. So my first book on this list is Anne of Green Gables. I read this book, it took me a while. I started reading it in April-ish, but then I had an audition for an Anne of Green Gables part, so I read it again in June. And I love this book so much. I am practically Anne. Anne of Green Gables is basically a story. It takes place around the early 1900s, late 1800s, around there. And it's about a girl named Anne. She's an orphan. And her story growing up, it starts off when she's 11 to when she is 16, 17, around there. Now, I think this is a book that every girl should read. It's a Canadian story, but it's really good and it's a classic. I loved it so much. I relate so much to Anne. She's a reader, she's a writer, she wants to be a teacher just like me. It was amazing. So, the next book on my list is Miss Peregrine's House for Peculiar Children. So, this year around October, I started a book club with my friends. And our first book was Miss Peregrine's House for Peculiar Children. I keep calling it Miss Peregrines. I don't know why. I've always said that since it came out in 2011. I always called it Miss Peregrines. Now, I've had this book since it came out, but I never read it because I read the first 3 chapters around there and I got scared because of the hollows, and I never picked it up again. But the movie was coming out, so I decided to read it. We've all read it in October, and I loved it so much. I fell in love with the story. I'm still in the 3rd book because I got sidetracked with some other books, but I love them so much. I recommend them to anyone who's looking for a good October read or a good, powerful read, like powers. So my next favorite book that I read this year, well, favorite series, is Harry Potter. I'm wondering if you could guess. I mean, I've had like 3 videos about Harry Potter this year. Yes, I love Harry Potter very much. I just started reading it this year. I watched all the movies and stuff when I was little, but I didn't actually read it because I was a reader, but I didn't think I was ready to read all 8 books. Well, 7 books, the script. And with the release of The Cursed Child this year, I decided to read it all. And I did. And I loved it so much. Cursed Child, I don't have it with me because my grandma's borrowing it, but I love that story so much. I usually don't read scripts, but it was a really engaging script. Even though it was a little out there and all over the place, I still really enjoyed it. So my next book on my favorite books of 2016 that I read is A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallero. This book is one of my favorite books. Like, it's at the top of my list. There's one more book on top of this. I just love this book so much. This book is a retelling of Sherlock Holmes, and it's about Charlotte Holmes, who's his great-great-granddaughter, great-great-grandniece, something like that. And basically they have to solve a mystery of a murder in their school. I love it so much. The sequel comes out this February. I am so excited to read it. It's one of my favorite series or books of all time now, just from reading this first book. I think it's her first book that she's published, and it's so good. I recommend it to anyone, probably over 13, because there are some drug scenes and things like that. As you know, Sherlock Holmes is a drug addict. I would recommend this to everybody over 13. It's so good. It gets you into the classics. After this, I wanted to read Sherlock Holmes so bad. I actually bought it. I just haven't read all the stories yet. But I recommend it to anyone who's looking for a good mystery and a good story. I love it so much. It's so good. It's so good. And I have one more book in my list of favorite books of 2016, and that is The Hidden Oracle of the Trials of Apollo. Now, last year around December, the beginning of December, I started reading Percy Jackson, and I instantly fell in love. I read the whole series in a week, and then I read the second series in 2 weeks because I had a hard time getting all the books. So I was so excited when I heard that they were coming out with a new book. I almost cried. I was so excited. I read it in a night and a half. This book was so funny, so hilarious, and I loved it so much. It just jumped right into the story, and it was so engaging and hilarious, and I loved it so much. I want him to write me into one of these books because I love it so much. 5 out of 5 stars. So that concludes my list of favorite books that I read this year in 2016. Thank you so much everyone for watching this video. I know 2016 hasn't been the best year for everyone, but I hope you guys all have a happy new year and a happy holidays. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like, you can like, comment, subscribe, do whatever the heck you'd like. Bye!